Not too shabby, Nigel. Not too shabby, Nigel. Alright, let's transition. Let's do it. I think we are live over there. Daar say. Alright, so keep that open so I can actually see chat over there. Sit vir Quibba hierso. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Goeienaand, dames en here met die groot pere. Julle moet sê as julle vir my en vir Quibba, if you guys can see me and Quibba very nicely. If you can hear us, Quibba, sê hello.
Hello.
There you go.
How's it?
So ja, môre, hoe is daai videomaker? Kom ons kyk. Hierso, ek gaan nou vir julle 'n videomaker wys. Hier is 'n man met 'n videomaker hierso het. Just quickly put into chat if you guys can see us very nicely. I think there's kind of a delay on my... No, it's not. Okay, well, actually, I have to close this thing again. Louis altyd laat weer eens. Wel, ons behoort live. Het jy vir YouTube oop as dit? Okay, môre sê alles is reg. As môre sê alles is reg, dan is dit pikkewyne. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another session of Wing It, all the way down here in Cape Town with a beautiful Table Mountain in the background, which you will not see because I stay in a house. But what you see in front of you is me on the one side and Quibba's Kolver, all the way from the Vrystaat, there where it's either millies, if you're out of the cities, or it is anthills. But those are the two things. So Quibba has got his own channel, which is called Chasing the Mist, just underneath him. And you will see that. Go and check it out though. He doesn't post frequent videos, as frequent as what I do, but it's because he buys the stuff. Everything which he reviews, he actually purchases it. So he has to save up for 2.5 years and buy something, a pot kit, and then he reviews it. But yeah, Quibba is just going to give a little intro about himself before we start this. By the way, the noise at the background is Calvin. Calvin is messing with a keen stack mod. Here's Calvin.
How's it guys?
He's the guy that won the Vaporezo prize, by the way, in case you were wondering. Yes, Quibba, die vloer is joune.
Donkey. I'm from the Free State. There's only one state, and that's the Free States. Live in Bloemfontein, very cold in the winters. As summers, we die of heat. And as Louis said, everything I review, I normally buy. The only exceptions to it is if one of my friends buys something and he gives it to me for a week or so to review it. But yeah, I'm here to chat because of the suicide Sidefire mech mod, which you actually touched on in your live last week. And I went and I commented, but we can get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, it's always nice, the mediums in which you actually get to know people though. I mean, here we are. I thought the guy was going to verbally attack me and take me apart. And then, I mean, we just got to Skype one another because I'm not one for big on the chatting. So I would rather Skype and video one another face to face. And then after explaining it, but Quibba, before I actually talked to him, he actually realized what the issue is, what I actually have with the stack. So, or the suicide mech. But yeah, he fixed his in the meantime. Quibba actually fixed his in the meantime. But yeah, if the delay is a problem, a big problem, I know mine has got a delay, but for me to fix that delay, I will actually have to close OBS and open it up again. So that means there's going to be 30 seconds which we're going to have to go offline. So if that doesn't bother you guys, I can do that. Otherwise, if you can live with my delay, you're absolutely welcome though. But yeah, reopening OBS normally sorts out that delay. So you must be fine there. So yeah, but yeah, that's that. Let's quickly see who is inside chat. Let's quickly go through these things from the top. Own Comforts, welcome Own Comforts. Ilandre Delport, lekker man. I see he's got a stormtrooper next to him. Awesome stuff, Ilandre. Welcome to your upgrade there, being a month plus channel member. And then Morne Philly still with his RTD2 coming up on the slow, but he'll get there. Pierre Harding's over here, Nancy Mesa. Pierre is a bit into squonking. I gave him one of the South African squonkers the other day, the L box, and he's playing around with that, learning Ohm's law slowly but surely. So yeah, Morne Phillies, hierso hy ook met sy RTD, Nico Libbe is hierso, lekker Nico fixed my stack mod. He cut it out, but I'll show you that on a close-up as well, when me and Quibba actually show you the things. Pierre Harding is gewoonlik Warrantine. There you go, Warren. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate it. Appreciate the watch. South Prawns in the house as well, as per usual. So there's a lot. Jy gaan nou klomp aan. Hier's Tennis Mulder. Tennis, I hope you're enjoying your Vertex. I'm still using my Vertex, and you can actually see I've got it on top of my E-Petite, my DNA. Tonight's a bit of a DNA night for me, but we'll go through the collection. I don't want to use buffet, because I mean every viewer, vape reviewers are using the word buffet. Okay, Rufus Kane is here. There's a klomp. Delaray Stein is hier so in die huis. Assassino, Arianto, one of my moderators. That's awesome stuff. Scooter. Hierdie skiep ek sommer klomp chats nou. But in any case, alright guys, Force is also here. Force and Mark Richardson. Lekker guys, nice. Thanks for being here. There's Calvin, obviously, he's on his phone. Live on the side there. If it's fogging up the place, then you know it's Mr. Stacker over here. But he's going to actually show you what the keen mech tube actually looks like with an looks like a RDTA on top of this. But this is the Widowmaker. This is what he's currently fixed up at the back over here. And just look at that thing. But yeah, this thing hoys. Too much. So any case, so what I've got in front of me, and then Quibba's going to end off, because he's always got the nicer things though. So I'll just give him a nice intro there. So E-Petite, as I said, the DNA is 60. If you guys, anyone has still got a functional one, I'm looking for the stainless and the abalone version, which Rob Fisher had but sold it. And then our little friend, the Drag X Plus, which unfortunately does not have a boost function on its chip. So bear that in mind. So the wattage you will be getting all depends on the resistance which you've got in here. So there's no point having a 0.3 ohm or 0.5 ohm and upping the wattage and think you're going to get a higher power delivery on this little guy. You're not. But for me it is absolutely fine, because I'm going to use this in MTR mode at 28-30 watts at the most. So for me it's absolutely fine, but just bear that in mind. And I mean, I can even show you if you don't believe me. Doesn't matter whether you go into RBA mode. So there I've currently got it in RBA mode, which you can see, and I'm firing at, and that's the fire which you get. And let me just push it up to 100 watts for you, if you don't believe me. Remember, this is a point. Okay, there's max watts, 100. Exactly the same. Exactly. Nothing special. So yeah, just bear that in mind. So you might as well vape it in smart mode. Lord knows why this thing's got an RBA mode. But that's that. And then I've got the Feeling, which I must still enjoy though. Just wish this little draw was a slightly tighter though, but I like it. I know you can switch it around for a looser draw, but on the tighter side. But the way this thing feels in the hand is absolutely a bomb. As per usual, I don't even have to tell you what this is. And then I decided to start up my Paranormal. Put up the Tokugawa on top of the Paranormal, vaping at 90 watts. Nice, comfortable 0.23 ohm. Such a pleasure. And last but not least, but I will actually do a review on this one. I didn't think I'm going to want to review any more pod mods. And then Vapefly decided to send this thing along. Normal post, which means they probably posted this thing in October last year and it only reached me now. But this is a very classy. Look at that thing. Very, very classy. And as I told Kelvin, it might be weird that your drip tip is your mouthpiece is skew. But I mean, I told him a lot of the times you sit like this. So if you're going to hold it like that, it's actually going to be very comfortable in the mouth. So at least you don't have your hand in front of your face, which could be an annoyance. So it's actually a very bright idea there. And you can get leather pouches for it as well. So that is what I have in front of me. Quibba, you have got. Wat het jy, Quibba?
Tonight I'm vaping on the Gig Vape Ages, whatchamacallit, sounding like Mark Fagan now, so I can't remember the name, the one with the huge screen. QP Fatality M25 on top, and the juice I'm vaping in there is some of my DIY apple juice. I do a lot of DIY, so that really helps. And then the second mod I've got in front of me tonight, see you've got the cap on, it's the Steam Crave Titan version 1.5, the Quad Barra Series mod. On top is the Steam Crave Aromamizer Plus V2, the Advanced Edition with the extension tube at the top. And in there I've got some of my DIY strawberry ice cream. That's what I've got tonight, and then a little bit later on tonight I'll be vaping on the suicide mech as well.
Alright, I think you saw, probably seeing the first picture, which is situated over there. Now that picture which you guys see over there, after me and Quibba spoke, he also realized that as soon as you've got a battery inside the suicide mod stack, whether it's in short version or long version, the problem is there's no way of air escaping out of your copper tubes, which we established in last week's live though, which makes it a dangerous situation, almost like a pipe bomb. Now the sad thing of it is I did send Suicide Mods a message on Facebook, and they only replied once, and that reply is the fact that if you look at the top, now Quibba will quickly show you on his, because he's got his in front of you, that there just above the threading where you're actually threading the copper tubing, there's a thinner piece of Delrin. You'll see there between the threading and the nice Ultim ring, there's a thinner section there. Now according to Suicide Mods, if your batteries vent on the inside, that thing's supposed to be thin enough so that it breaks loose. That was their story, which they actually told me. And then I asked them, I don't think that's the case though, because you're going to need a lot of pressure in any case though to break that thinner piece, no matter how thin it is. You're still going to need pressure build up, which means that your top portion is actually going to shoot off. It's not going to fall off. I think it's going to break off with some force. And that also doesn't solve the fact that if you run it in stack mode and you connect your bottom copper tubing, the fact that it is separated from one another with a copper section in the middle, that thing at the top is not going to help you at all if you've got a bottom part there. So they never got back to me, so I assume they know that they actually made a mistake, and probably hopefully rectifying the situation. But yeah, I can take this out there. But basically what we did on my one is, you can see over there, we removed the bottom O-ring over there and then took out a, that's what Nico Libber did for me though. He took a jeweler's little saw, and then he just sawed very nicely. He actually did a very good job of it. Sawed a little slit in there. And the same with the other copper tubing. He also did that for me though. So now at least I've got a peace of mind that there is venting holes on it though. And the fact that, as I told Kubas, the fact that I can actually slide my copper tubing down my Delrin tube, must tell you that air can pass those O-rings. And before you say, but you need to put it at the top there, it's going to be more effective. Kubas did a better job in the fact that of his positioning of his holes though. But I just thought, all right, fair and well, I will get that warning quick enough though to actually get rid of it. But yeah, so he had to actually drill holes right through his top cap, which I did not really want to do, in case somebody will actually want to purchase this thing, or you never know, somebody comes here and they want to swap me a hammer of God for this, then at least this one still looks intact though. But both those options, now you've got ideas of what you actually can do if you've got this and you want to rectify the situation. I didn't build on mine though. I thought White Collar was going to send me 0.45 builds, but Quentin has got so much on his mind dat hy seker maar weer vergeet het, soos gewoonlik. Kom ons kyk gou hierso wat die aangaan gou hierso in die chat. Dit is waar ek laas was. Kyk waar, jy moet maar kyk aan chat, Kobus. You must have a look at what's going on there. If there's any questions towards you there. There's Sith Walker. I'm also going to show them the deal which he had. Remember last week's show, Sith Walker said that he actually paid £70 for a whole collection of goodies. So I got the photo of that, and I'm actually going to show you what that photo looks like there. But in any case, so that is what Quibba did to his. Just got to quickly put the photo up there, and that is the whole thing, which I know it's covering our faces now, but so you can see a nice big photo of that. There you can see £70, and that guy got the golden K-Fun, and he got that Odin. I'm not sure, I think he said it was the DNA 250, and then the charger, 2 batteries, 2 21700s I assume, and then that cotton as well, all for £70. So that was a lekker deal. That was a lekker deal. Kobus, wil jy nog nooit die Ouden gehad het, of het jy Ouden?
Wat 'n Ouding?
Die 250C, die groter Ouden. Van
Oh, the Odin? No, I don't have the Odin.
But were you ever interested in getting one or something like that?
Maybe down the line somewhere,
Is it?
but not right now. If I may, I just want to show the battery is currently placed in here. I put the AT on top, unscrewed it, so the battery is where it will be when it's on the inside. Just to show everyone that it bends now.
Yeah, do show that.
So it bends perfectly now, and unlike you, I'll never get rid of this. I love this little thing. So I was fine to grow old.
Now, if I can get that Hammer of God, but the what's it, the Horseman, the Four Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen, yeah.
If I can get that, then I'll definitely do the trade. Absolutely, I'm looking for one of those things, but it's got to be 4 18650s. The 421 700 is too big for me there. So hopelessly. Now.
I looked at a Hammer of God a while back, and before I could purchase it, it was gone. But maybe someday I'll find another one.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely get one of those still. It's in my line of sight.
Yeah, I've got the Hammer, the Stone Age.
Yeah, but you brought that to me.
Yes.
So yeah, no, Calvin always brings me good goodies. He also brought me the Peacemaker 28. So now that the Chinese are going on a month and a half New Year's holiday, he brought me this guy. So I will be reviewing the 28mm. I did a review on the 25 though, but apparently he says it's worthwhile doing a review on this one. Because the coils which he's got in there, he's mother build, and she's 85 years old. Nano aliens. But this is a 28 which you've got over there. So I'll test that though, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. The picture which you see on your screen now, by the way, that was someone else that sent it to me. That was the issue which one of my subscribers actually had with his suicide. And he said that it irritated him so much. So, and I said, according to me, the only way in which you can fix that. Now that is a 0.1 or 0.2 millimeter at the most gap which you see over there. Now I can quickly increase the size so you can see it better there. Make it bigger. So there you can see that though. So you can actually do see there is a gap between the bottom Delrin tube and that little Ultim ring. And if you've got that issue on yours, I think the only thing which you can do is skim a 0.1 millimeter off the bottom of your copper, because your copper tubing at the bottom is a few millimeters, 2.5, 3 millimeters probably. So you can comfortably skim 0.1 off there, which means that your Delrin tube should press up an extra 0.1 and actually close that little gap. But I can't see anything else which you can basically do. I don't know if you can think of anything, Quibbas, to fix that issue.
I don't have that issue at all. I'm just worrying about how tall is that battery. Isn't the battery just a little bit too tall maybe?
There's another thing which you can look at though, if you want to check.
Because mine goes all the way to the top, and I don't over tighten the copper tube. I just put it so it's snug. So not really an issue for me.
Yeah, I said there's a lot of things though. So Sith Walker, well done on that setup which you got for £70. I think anybody probably would have taken that. Let's kyk, Mark Richard and Paramore is no venting. Yeah, Mark, you're absolutely right. There are a few mods which are actually reviewed which do not have venting, but when it comes to regulated mods, I'm not that worried though, because normally your circuits do have all kind of protections on it which will shut the mod off. It's like somebody actually said, I told Kobus earlier though, when I did the review on the Goer, and normally what I do is, if I just quickly remove my Torrent Beast, where's that little jobby of mine? When I normally do a review, I just take this little thing and I just press it in there, like so, just to see whether it is spring loaded or not. And this out-tunes me, why am I doing that? It's got batteries inside of it, nah. So I said, but that's the thing about regulator. I'm not pressing the fire button there while I'm doing that though, and the thing has got a short circuit function as well. So I feel a bit safer. Not that I'm excusing it, but I feel a bit safer on a regulated if there's no venting holes than on a mech. Definitely.
Just to answer one of the comments, yes, this is Oros that I'm drinking.
No, he lies, man. It's a double vodka. I saw you just poured 10 minutes before.
I was in the position that I was in Kimberley when they announced the ban on alcohol sales. And coming back home, I wouldn't have been able to transport anything in any case. So, nothing.
Listen, I just hope that South Africa does not, because we normally follow America's example. Whenever something happens in America, I mean, we saw it in the school system as well. We try to adopt this whole outcomes-based education situation as well. So if America hits April and they decide to ban vaping, I mean, don't you think our government is going to start getting excited? Or do you think the EFF is keeping them busy enough? We just organize another matric for a while party just to keep them occupied. But it's going to suck if they actually implement this. Let's quickly see. Forces just got a message over here. Jy moet headphones opsit en jou speakers se klank afsit, jy kry latency issues. Headphones opsit, maar ek kan die speakers afsit, gaan my nie pla nie, maar dan gaan ek nie vir Quibba kan hoor nie. Ek sal my headphones opsit. The problem is my daughter is just using it to play PS4 at the moment, because I made the mistake of actually getting a PS4 for them after they nagged. So yeah, they've got my headphones at the moment, but I'll definitely get another pair. Okay, Scooter is hier so, Sub Kaiser. Chasing Clouds and Flavor Reviews. Hi at Chasing the Mist. Mark says hi. Warren Force is there. Evening all. Ek weet nie hoe agter is ek met hierdie goeders nie. Jurgens Kobus is daai ou raas daar soos hy jy het hom beantwoord. Did you manage to get a look at the Swordfish Sidefire mech? Now I have not said Walker, I'm going to be honest with you. I think is I totally forget these things, man. If you must just email me and just remind me. I normally check my emails a lot. That's why your picture's up here. There's somebody else which also sent me a video, Roof. He sent me a video, and in the video, he shows a mixing technique, but it's a technique which I actually knew, but he actually did it. So what he did is he bought one of those figure saws. Hy goed as jy reg ophou met die blade wat so vinnig op en af gaan. And then he just those jigsaws, and then he just attached a bottle in front of it. Got a cheap blades though, and he got himself rubber clamps or plastic cheap clamps though to hold onto the bottle. And then he sent me this 6-second video where this thing is shaking a moosa. So you've got that option as well. I know of that option. I've heard of it before though. You can try that though. For me, it's just noisy, it's shaky. For me, a magnetic stirrer with a Teflon bar on the inside is absolutely fine, because I don't often mix anything more than 250 mils at a time. So that thing in the background running for 2 hours, and it cuts off a lot on the steeping time while doing that as well, and it doesn't agitate the nicotine which is in there. You can put everything in there. So I enjoy those stirrers. What do you use, Quibbas?
Exactly the same thing. I also have one of those stirrers with a Teflon stirrer bar. And as well, I usually don't mix anything more than 200 mils, so it works fine for me.
Yeah, and I think it does a great job. I mean, if you let it stand for a couple of hours, I don't even if I might mix fruits, then my fruits normally just mix for about 10 minutes at the most, until it becomes milky. Then I just take it off, and it vapes perfect. Whether it stands for another 3-4 days or whatever, it's the same. Custards and those kind of things, we must let it go for a bit longer then.
Yeah, creamy stuff. When I mix that, I put it on the mixer before I go to bed. Next morning I take it off.
You must actually tell them what job you do. Because we spoke a bit earlier about his job, and it's actually interesting. And then I asked him whether, you will hear now, whether it's not off-putting seeing what he's seeing. And when I said that, I actually thought about how old I was when I saw Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time. And that Freddy Krueger left such an imprint on me that when, for the first time, I saw a dead body, partially decomposed dead body after that, it was half almost as if I'm in the movie. So those type of horror movies actually help you a bit to cope with that type of reality scenes. I was young. I was probably 12 years old, and I was fishing off the harbor wall of Hermanus. And there was a guy next to me. He was catching crayfish. Now, the way which he did it is he had a lot of hooks on his fishing line, and he just slowly put it inside the water. And then obviously the crayfish come closer, and then slowly he pulls up his fishing line, and then he puts a net underneath to catch the crayfish. But in this specific case, when he pulled up, I saw the oak was straining, and I thought maybe he got a world record crayfish. And then slowly but surely, in the clear water, you see this body rising. And then he actually caught on one of his hooks, he caught the belt of a corpse which was in the water. And that corpse wasn't there for long, but it was there for long enough that his jersey, and he couldn't, they took a gaff to try and get this guy out. And everything, all the material broke. The only place where they actually could get this guy out of the water was to gaff him around the leather belt. But that guy was partially eaten, and that I saw when I was 11, 12 years old. So yeah, like Owens, but that's got to do with Quibba's work. I mean, the stuff which that oak must see every day. Quibba, ek weet nie of jy wil vertel nie.
That was my previous job. My current job, I currently work for one of the 3 largest CROs. We've got about 20 to 22,000 employees all over the world, and what I do is I work out the budgets and write the proposals for clinical studies. Prior to that, in my previous life, I spent 6 years on radio as well, and in between I studied forensic entomology, and that's basically the study of insects in medico-legal investigations. In South Africa, mostly that's murders, elderly neglect, stuff like that. So I was the maggot man. I went to the morgue and to the crime scenes to collect the maggots and the insects, and by using the insects on the body, if you know what the temperature was, then you can extrapolate how old those insects are, which will give you a good idea of the time of death. So I've seen thousands of autopsies, worked on hundreds of cases. South Africa is the best place in the world to study that due to our high crime rate. You will see more things than other people will see in the rest of the world, but not the best place in the world to work in that area because of the payment. I studied for 15 years, and when I applied for a job, they offered me the grand total of 6,000 Rand a month to live in Pretoria. And I said, no, there's no way. I'll take my skills elsewhere. So yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen what people can do to one another, and it's shocking, to say the least.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'd rather teach kids about the lungs and the heart inside a class. I'd rather sit with 30 little junior delinquents in front of me than do that. Yeah, no, I won't. I don't think I'll be able to. It's not my cup of tea. It's the same. It's weird. I mean, I can't. And I know it sounds selfish, but I can't work with old people as well. I won't be able to. Or people that are abnormal. I just can't. I just don't have the patience for it. And it's weird. I'm very much about something which is symmetrical. So when somebody comes and talks to me with his one eye slightly higher than the other eye, it freaks me out a bit. Or the nostrils. You get those oaks where they talk and then the nostrils flare. And normally yours do flare a bit though, but these you can see it open up. It's crazy, and that freaks me out. So anything, yeah, ek is weird. Ek is weird, and I think that's the reason why I probably waited until I got a beautiful wife and married her. Want ek soek nie iets wat weird is nie. And that's what I told Uncle Rob. I don't know if you saw the new Skyline R. Did you see what it looks like?
No.
I mean, I watched Todd's reviews on it as well, and there's your juice flow control opening inside the tank and your airflow opening just underneath it on the bottom airflow ring. It doesn't line up. And I told him that would absolutely bother me. But it's weird that they decided to put a triangle. They've got this triangle stainless steel CNC cut out and on the top on which your drip tip actually fits. But it just looks so weird with that triangle. And another idea of the triangle is that it controls your juice flow. Opens up your juice flow port and closes it when you turn it on the top cap. But I would have kept it round, to be quite honest. But that asymmetrical thing on that Skyline R, that just would have bothered me too much. I wouldn't have taken it. And I think that's my issue with in the beginning, which I had with atomizers, which is I've only got airflow on the one side. It bothered me that it doesn't have airflow on the other side as well. But for the MTLs, I excuse that because you want restricted airflow, so I don't mind that portion. But it probably this doesn't bother you at all, Quibba. You don't mind.
There's something else that bothers me when I put an ATI on a mod, and the airflows are not facing the sides, but they're facing me and facing away. So sometimes the builds I put in there, I purge to heat up the coils, and then you hit yourself in the face. That really irritates me.
Ja, nee, that does, ja. That does. Kijk, hoe sit ook Calvin hier so in die agtergrond. Rustig. Drink sy teekie. He always comes here for a teekie. One sugar and a bit of love. Arianto Delarijstein, Amelin said, I have an Odin 200 as well in red and black. Can you tell the difference between the two? You can tell the difference between the two. One is brushed silver and 200 is a shiny paint. Yeah, I've got the brushed silver one, but I've got the DNA 75 one. Thanks, mate. Evening all. Hi, Guy W. Also a new viewer over here. Appreciate that. Good thing that about the Para series, Hammer of God, though, is that if you can't find calm enough coils, you can run with just 2 batteries. That is a bonus over there.
If I can just quickly interrupt you, I see a question in the chat. If anyone has used Inawera Cactus, one of the juices I'm currently vaping on, it's a little DIY cactus. In there is Inawera Cactus at 5%, and I love it. It's basically the only thing in there. Also a little bit of sweetener, and what else? A little bit of WS23. Really easy recipe, really works for me in the summertime. And yeah, Inawera Cactus, if you add that to a recipe, what I found, it just makes it a little bit more juicy.
Yeah, I've never tried cactus though. Always thought that cactus is going to be one of those weird. I've actually got the flavoring, but I've never tasted it though. Yeah, it's probably still lying over here on the table. Normally put the new ones over here, but it just what does it taste like? Or is it absolutely got its absolute? The proets is a Turks vy. A prickly pear.
Yeah. Prickly pear, that's the taste I get from it. I go through liters of this stuff in summertime. Quick and easy recipe, really cheap to make, just works for me.
And you've got some isomental in there or not?
Yeah, some WS23 at 1.2%.
But if you want to share that, you're absolutely welcome. Then you can just send it to me and I'll post it in the community. If you want to share your recipe, if it's not out there and bottled and labeled and all kind of stuff.
No, it's a single flavor recipe just with some sweetener and WS23. That's it.
And you like it?
I love it. 100 mils cost me, I think, 29 Rand to make. So cheap.
But so you just use Inawera Cactus, that's all?
That's the only cactus
So
I use. That's all.
at what percentage then? Because in my
5% Inawera Cactus. Capella's super sweet at 0.8 to 0.85%. And then WS23, the 20% solution at 1.2%. That's it. Just those three.
Calvin says, he says that if you just put a bit of what's it, Vape Train's one?
Yeah,
Vape Train's Yellow Passion.
You might get that.
A 1% or 2%.
Prickly pear might enhance that prickly pear
Yeah,
with cactus.
yeah, you must actually try that, Quibba. That is a very nice passion fruit flavoring. If you guys ever want to try something, is Yellow Passion from Vape Train. So you should actually just get that and just add 1% of that with your recipe, because I'm sure you're going to love it.
I've tried a couple of different passion fruits, not that one yet. The other passion fruits I tried, I don't know, I get throat heat from that. And that's without any nick, that's just a 5% single flavor tasting. I get bad throat heat. So
He said, no, go for yellow.
I kind of gave up on passion.
No, go for Yellow Passion fruit. You won't, jy sal nie spyt wees nie. Dis moer so lekker. Another picture which you see on the front of the screen over there is, I was also sent that though. He's a guy from Cape Town. He's just randomly started cracking. He says never dropped his mod, but his topside light started showing those cracks which you see over there. And there's another picture which he actually included there, which you can see at the top over there. But it's just weird. I don't know if this has happened to any of you guys, where your topside is actually cracked like that. So he was prepared to give it away for free, and I was the first guy to respond on the ad, because there was nothing wrong with the electronics, and I know Nico Libber might be able to use that board and come up with an E-pipe, a regulated E-pipe. So yeah, I gave it to him, so to sort out that. But it would be nice to hear from you guys if you've got problems with certain of your mods or atomizers, things which normally don't come out there. Then there's something very interesting, very exciting, because I know one of the atomizers which did extremely well in South Africa was this little guy. And that's the Expromiser V5. There's a version 5 which is going to come out soon. So for all your MTL oaks. And it comes in 3 different colors as well. The standard black, silver and gunmetal. And if you want to see what the deck actually looks like, I can show you that as well. Let's quickly put up the deck, because I know people want to say, well, the bull deck. It's not too unique. So basically what they did, if you look at those pictures over there, what they did is they just combined the good features of version 3 with features of version 4. They combined. They just changed the airflow slightly. Version 4 must have the round opening at the bottom. Here they've got 3 smaller holes next to one another, just to spread out the airflow range underneath the coil a bit more though. So I think this would definitely do well. I'll buy it. But Quibba, you're not into MTL.
Not that much. The only MTL that I've got is the Berserker RDA. Actually, I've got 2 of those. And when you put that on a little squonk mod, especially when we go on holiday, which hasn't been in the last 2 years with lockdown, I'd take one of those, put it on a little squonker, and the juice and the battery just lasts for days.
Yeah, no, it does. And that's the thing with what I like about these MTLs. I mean, I've got that little Pioneer out, but the Pioneer was one of the first ones which I actually reviewed. And when I used the others which I currently use, like the Vertex though, this guy's got tight flow. I thought this guy had nice tight airflow, but it's actually loose if you compare it to this. This guy's a lot tighter though. So it just shows you what reviewing a lot of different ones actually does. Your opinion actually changes on previously what you thought was maybe a great flavor is not that great now compared to something which you got new though. Interesting, man. Interesting times, I tell you. Interesting. Okay, then I have got Mr. iStick Pico 2. Because Eleaf just decided there is no way that they're just going to let the Vaporesso swag. I think it's a swag something 80, P80 or something like that, which is a very nice looking mod. Absolutely. But they decided no, because they actually brought out this shape. I think they were the first guys to bring out this shape. Or can you think of another mod, Quibba, which has got this Pico shape?
There was the Vaporesso one previously to this one that had the same shape. Also, there was the AL85 which had the same shape.
Yeah, but they all came after the Pico, the original Pico.
Yeah. I've got the original Pico back there. That's actually the second mod I bought, and I still use it from time to time with a recurve RDA on top with a 22mm conversion cap. But you need to drip constantly in the single coil recurve, but it's a nice little setup.
Don't you quickly want to show the original, or are you naked?
No, close.
Ek sit baie keer net met 'n onderbroek. Ek hang af hoe laat ek vir die show opdaag. But that was a very popular mod. That was extremely popular.
Okay, so there's my original Pico.
So they changed the fire button. They changed the positioning of the up and down button. Yeah, so it's actually a few changes.
And then I use it with this little 22mm cap with the recurve. So it'll basically look something like that.
Still a nice little looking mod. I think it looks good. Ek sal hom definitief uitcheck. And then what else is new? Then obviously the buzz of the town is this guy. There you go. This is the new one from QP Designs, the MR. Calvin doesn't even know about it. He thought he had friends at QP Designs in Canada. Yeah, I think it's called the MR for the Mini Remastered or the Mini Revisit. No, I think it's Mini Remastered. the MR. But it's going to be a single coil. By the way, the expromiser is the 23mm. But this is the only photo which I could find on the whole internet on this specific atomizer. The only one. Pierre Harding, Jurgens, Gras met Berserker and Jen. I still can't believe the Berserker V2 is not in South Africa yet. I just need to get that. And Pierre Harding says, Lekker Chantel, my Kylan V2 rus vanaand 'n bietjie. Pierre, I thought I actually reviewed the Kylan V2 and then somebody said that they will send me his, but I never reviewed the V2 because I can't understand. You hear a lot about the V2 and I thought to myself, yeah, how's this thing so popular? I didn't think it was that fantastic, and then I realized I actually never reviewed the V2. So I should actually get the V2 for myself and just decide how that is. Assassino says the Arbiter with the Drag 2 Platinum. When in the books, Arbiter, there's no problem with the Arbiter RTA. I think it's very nice. Fee, good evening over there. Sithwalker, Odin DNA 250C and the Blotter with the Dark Star with a bit of strawberry kiwi bubblegum. Strawberry and kiwi seems to be a very popular combination in juices though. Warren Dean says his billet box with a nice new boxer bridge. I'll probably for next Thursday I'll start up my billet box because I never realized that I've actually got some of these airflow restrictions for one of my I think it's the boxer. So I'll definitely try that out as well. But yeah, I just can't get the flavor on the billet box which people claim to experience. Jurgen says clients must not modify a product to make it safer to use. Well, if you're going to keep the product and it's a mech and you are actually making it safer, then you probably don't have an option. But he won't be able to return it though. But I don't think Quibba is interested in returning it. No, he won't. No, he won't.
Not a chance.
Ek dink volgende keer as ons opgaan moet ek maar my headphones opsit want hulle sê jy echo. Eers is daar 'n delay by my en dan is daar echo by jou. Maar solank julle ouens kan hoor man, solank julle kan hoor. Niks in Suid-Afrika loop altyd smooth nie. Delaray says the manufacturer is responsible to ensure reasonable safety of the product. Yeah, but Delaray, the manufacturer is not admitting any problems. As I said, they had a whole, not even a week, 6 days. Let's make it 6 days. I contacted them last Friday and they just never responded with something decent, with a decent response. I just thought maybe a thank you for pointing this out would be something, but no, man, no. It's as if they think that admitting to the mistake makes them liable in case something happens probably somewhere with someone's mod. So they rather don't want that on record anyway. Henry says, goeienaand everyone. Welcome Henry. Net gesien hierso. The Peacemaker is a lovely RTA. It's really good flavor. Then Jurgen says, hello Henry, how's it Arianto? Almal groet vir mekaar. Great, easy fix. Don't buy one. Yes, so. No, but you want one. It's a series dual 21700 and it's side fire. You want it. That was my attraction to it. That's the reason why I actually wanted to buy it. And I mean, it's a reputable company which brought it out. So I didn't think it's going to have that small little minor flaw. But as I said, it can be fixed. And we fixed it now. Ben vaping en ons gaan ondergrond. Yeah, there's just too much criminal activity in South Africa for vaping to die in South Africa. There will always be a way and a means in South Africa to get something, to find something. You'll always get it's like me the other day, my wife 3 days ago, my wife asked me if I know of anybody that would be able to get ivermectin. So she says she's struggling. So all I did is I just put a post on Facebook and said this, if anyone who knows somebody that sells ivermectin, they must just contact me. Oh my word. I've got WhatsApp lists of names in different provinces and the type of ivermectin formula which they're selling, the prices, what courier they actually used. The people went across the board and gave me contacts for ivermectin. And then luckily there was a guy that phoned me and he turns out to be somebody which I actually knew from when I was young. And he's a farmer now, and they use it to dip the sheep. So he's actually going to call me tomorrow morning. He's going to send us enough for 10 family members. So we've got that 1 millimeter or 1 milliliter rub situation inside the legs, 1 milliliter a day for 5 days, and then we sort it out. Because my wife is just a bit worried, man, me going back to school and those kids flocking in. You don't know where those kids were and who they've got contact with. Because if I look at kids, those oaks, they think they're absolutely immune. They walk around, touch one another, go about without masks. It's crazy how ignorant youngsters are. So, of course, we know it though. So wife wants me to get that thing. Sy's 'n bietjie worried want ek is 'n bietjie oorgewig. Ek is 'n bietjie van 'n dik gat. So sy's baie lief vir my. Maxter, good enough. Assassino, heerlikheid. Ek weet nie, ek is ver agter Kobus. Jy moet sê as daar iets is wat jy wil oor praat. Kom ons kyk gou van nog 'n prentjie.
Ek loer so tussendeur.
Loer of iets interessants is wat jy wil opbring. Laat ek gou kyk of daar nog 'n prentjie is wat ek wil wys. Maybe there's another image. Just quickly check over here. Yeah. There's this picture which I want to show. Absolutely. This is a must. And I think I need to make it somewhere nice and big for everyone to see there. Now, for all you oaks who are into mechs, there was a question that popped up that in a mech, whether you put the battery positive up or whether you put the battery positive down. Now, most mechs, except if stated otherwise, hopefully the company states it, but they should. Most mechs will have the positive up, right? And that diagram shows you the problem which arises if you decide to put a battery upside down in a mech where the battery is supposed to be positive up. So when you have got a short, because you've got a battery wrap which is maybe bad, your electrical current is still going to run through your atomizer which you've got on top. So your resistance still acts as your coil acts as a resistance on the circuit, on the electric current. And your battery can at least handle that. So you've got a better situation of coping with that issue when it arises. Whereas if you've got your positive upside down, then you've got an electrical circuit which do not run through your atomizer. And then you're going to draw the excess of amps out of your battery, and that is a much more dangerous situation. So I don't know, Quibba, if you also understand it that way.
Yeah, exactly like that. That's why I always prefer to use it positive up, not positive down.
So please look at that picture. If you start going to mechs, there's all these things which you need to understand. Because if you go closer to the boundary of the amps which your battery actually can deliver, it's like you when you are asked to do work and you are overworked, then you heat up and you raak moeg. And then you somewhere decide, now I'm just going to stop, and then something happens. Same with the battery. If you're going to overwork your battery is going to heat up. And because there's a lot of chemicals inside, heat can ignite certain chemical reactions, and that is what releases the gases, and that is why we had this pipe bomb issue with the suicide mech. So to sort out that, we drilled holes. We cleared that nonsense up. So in any case, so those are the only pics which I actually wanted to show you tonight. As I said, there is not much new which is on the market. I don't know, Quibba, if you know of anything.
Nothing I have seen.
Man,
this was the last thing I was getting excited about that was new. And I'm still excited about this, even though I drilled holes in this. It just gives me peace of mind, and I use this thing daily. I get a lot of flack though from some of my other friends who are also mech users. They like to vape around the 0.11 ohm down to 0.08 resistance levels. That's not for me. The lowest I will go is 0.16, but the build I've got in here is a 0.18, and it vapes just fine for me. I have more than enough headroom on the amp draw, so I'm happy.
I mean, I did a 0.19 build, and I actually enjoyed it on that. I might go down to a 0.17 maybe, just to give it slightly more of a hit. But I know the problem is the further you go down, the quicker your battery actually drains on this thing, man. And you don't want to use it for just a half an hour. You actually want to use it a bit longer though. So I think 1.7 to the 1.9 range is, I think it's nice on the single 21700 as it is. I think that's the perfect range though. But that's what bothers me about certain vapors though. I mean, just because that oak's on a 0.1, why would he look down on you for you being safer? What ego trip is that oak on? It's like a guy on a 1200 motorcycle stopping next to oak with a 50cc, and telling him, listen, what's wrong with you? Why do you drive a 50cc when you can drive this? Fine, you like it that way. That oak likes his 50cc's. Don't diss on the oak. It's still better than...
On that point,
Yeah.
I've got a 1000cc Honda, and I feel much safer on that than I will on a 125. Firstly, the guy on the 125 or the 50cc is much smaller than me, but I've got the power. If there is an issue somewhere and I need to get out of trouble really fast, I've got the power to do that. But that doesn't relate to vaping though. I did put a 0.12 ohm build in this earlier this week. It vaped beautifully. Lots of clouds, lots of flavor, but the battery just doesn't last. And no, as you said.
And the problem with a 1000cc, if a dog runs in front of you, I'd rather be on the 125.
That's the problem. People tend to swerve for dogs. Now, I'm a dog lover myself, but if something happens at speed, rather go through
So
it.
you're going to use the dog as a ramp. Yeah, but that's the same with the car as well. I mean, you don't swerve out. Your chances of the damage, which I think is going to cause or be caused, though, is more by swerving out than rather hitting the buck head on or hitting the sheep head on. Except obviously on a broad, wide road, then it's something totally different, though. But most of these ook skrik hulle mors dood. I can still remember my brother, we were driving somewhere. My current wife, which was my girlfriend then, was sitting in the back seat. And it was a long trip. It's those Karoo trips where you're between Beaufort and Laingsburg, which is a 200-kilometer stretch of nothingness. And then after that, you hit Touwsrivier. And then from Touwsrivier, you turn right to Ceres. But if you pass those, go through those long stretches where nothing much happens, you get tired. And I was still sitting like that, rustig. Luckily, I was the only one which I was awake, put it that way. I wouldn't say luckily I was the only one. We would hope the driver is also awake. But my wife was sleeping in the back, or my girlfriend then, and my brother, I didn't look at him. And all I see the car slowly but surely, he's heading for some other sign which is next to the road. And I thought he was joking. And when I turned to my right, I actually saw him. He's asleep. He fell asleep, the bastard. Now, if you just not used to these kind of things and you don't think things through, the normal guy would skrik and hy sal gedruk het op die stuurwiel. But all I did is I just took the steering wheel and gently tilted it to the right and then smacked him in his face and said, don't sleep. But that's how a lot of accidents, I think, unnecessarily get caused. People skrik, they don't know what to do, they slam on the brakes or they pull this. The same, I was driving an Alpha. Now, I'll never buy an Alpha again. There's always something that goes wrong with the Alpha. Then it's my wipers that didn't work. When I got that fixed, then the exhaust pipe fell off. And then I got that fixed, and then my left front wheel fell off the car. And it's not my fault, I got the tires changed. Probably my fault because I never checked how the oaks put on the nuts. But you know how it is driving. And then you drive a rustige 80 kilometers an hour, because luckily I was entering town. So I was slowing down. But to drive your car and you actually see your wheel go ahead of you, you're just wondering what the hell is going on over here. There's a wheel coming past us, and then you realize it's the front of one of my front wheels which did. But there again, I didn't pull nothing. I just told my wife, relax, and then I just slowly but surely put on the brakes, and the brake disc was just screeching along on the road, and then we went to a standstill. But jy moet rustig wees, man. Jy moet rustig wees.
Now, I told you earlier in our other call, I had 2 valves on a bike go, front and rear. It wasn't pretty. But the biking community, they get really upset with me, because I've got another channel as well, biking related, and they get upset. Most of the motorcycle accidents in this country, unfortunately, is either due to speed or to alcohol. And when you mix the two of them, then it's a deadly outcome. The other thing which people need to realize is the faster you travel, the more distance you cover per second. And if you can only see ahead of you for 4 seconds, that's your visible reserve. Do not exceed that. Stay within your limits. And the other thing, I know I'm off topic here, it's not vaping related, but when you ride your bike, The way I do it is I keep 2 fingers or 1 finger, one on the clutch, one on the brake. I always cover my levers, because that split second, if you have to pick up your fingers and then apply it to the brake, that split second, depending on the speed you're traveling, it's quite a distance. It might be too late. So if there's an emergency situation, cover your levers, apply the brake first, and then swerve. Don't try to swerve at speed. It's not going to work. But anyway.
But it does come with experience. It does come over time. This holiday, my daughter's boyfriend just got his license, and when we went to Struisbaai, he was wondering whether my daughter could drive with him in his own car behind us, and I said no. I'm not going to allow it though, because this guy doesn't have the main road or that distance road experience yet. I mean, it's even a guy in front of him. If a caravan breaks off or locks off or comes loose of that, what is he going to do? I don't know what he can do and what his reactions is. So you need to build up that experience before you can actually feel comfortable doing these kind of things. But I'm more worried about people around me. Say again?
Things can go wrong really quickly.
No, it can. I mean, it can, absolutely. I mean, there were sheep that walked in front of me. I never knew that though. There was once where we traveled and the people were moving, and then a whole carpet, one of these round carpets which are rolled up, huge carpet, just fell off the back of the bucky in front of us. And I mean, it just happens so quick, and that's why you must also maintain your distance. That's the thing that pisses me off about South African drivers on the road. These dicks, is that you've got the specific distance which you keep on holding in front of the guy. And this oak next to you thinks it's a gap, which you, and then he pulls in there, and immediately you lose your safety 6 meter safety distance, and it's only 2 meters, and then you got to pull back again, and another oak thinks it's another gap. Nee, ek weet hierdie mense is weird. Yes, is weird, but that's probably why there's so many pileups.
Ja.
Ouens kyk maar net nie wat hulle doen nie. Hoor ek het chat verloor hoor. I don't know what the hell is going on in chat. I think my thing is also not scrolling correctly on the side. 2 batteries to reduce power. It will still run 2 batteries in series. Although, yeah, the other 2 batteries, if you've got the Hammer of God. Okay, I made a mistake just now. The 4 Horsemen is not 18650, it's 21700s. Yeah. But the thing is with the Hammer of God, the 2 batteries are series and the other 2 parallel, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't get the power of 4 batteries out of a Hammer of God. You get additional longevity out of 2 of the parallels with 2 of the series. So how does that work?
Well, this one that I have, what is this? Again, the Titan version 1.5. I've got the original one as well behind me. This is quad Paris series. So 2 are in parallel, 2 are in series. So you get the 8.4 volts from this, but you share the amp load.
Yeah, so it's basically what I say. Yeah. So it's going to last longer because of the 2 others, which is in parallel. But that is great, mods. I was so glad when I saw that you also enjoy Steamcraft's products.
I do.
Because I mean, I've still got I've got the Hadron and I've got the PW, the original PWM. They still would have sent me the 1.5, but there's not a huge difference.
No, it's basically. Let me just throw my focus out and do this. The only difference between them, the original, the button looked like that, and the new one, the button looks like that. And they changed the location of where the engraving is for Titan PWM mod, as opposed to where the button is. And then at the bottom, basically the doors look the same, but the insides of the doors are a little bit different. But that's it.
And
otherwise, it's still the same mod.
And then the finger cut out.
It just works well. And I've got the Titan for the other one. And this setup, I was lucky enough. I was in a Zoom room one evening with vapers from all over the world, and one of the guys there, who I made friends with, Chester in the UK, he had this. And I told him I've been looking for that for quite a while now, but they sold out in South Africa. And he sent me this. So very, very cool.
Do you see, members, what this guy does? That's the type of members he's got. Where's that thing which you would have sent me? Where's that broken E petite? I don't know. They didn't even send me the broken stuff. But yeah, now that is such a, I enjoy that mod so much. I normally take it to vape meets because I mean it's 40 milliliters, 40 millimeters, and it takes I think 30 mils of juice.
28, but I get more than 28 in here. I think it's 28 just this bit. But in the carton, you've got some more. I can fit 30 mils in here.
Yeah.
And it lasts me the whole day. Now, in here, I've got a 0.12 ohm build. The batteries and the juice last about the same. When the juice is empty, the batteries are empty as well. But if I put another build in here, I can refill and we can go for a long time.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. I made my first MTL coils, 230 gauge wrapped in 40 gauge stainless steel. Yeah, I still want to find out what does give the best flavor. Canfill, stainless steel, or I would just love to have the identical coils. Somebody sent me the exact same coils, but in Canfill, in nichrome and stainless. I would love to compare it. Because seeing that I've got 4 Torrent Beasts, that would be the perfect RTA to build each one of those sets. Same juice, same cotton. And at least I've got some new Maviton cotton for a change, so yeah. And thanks to, where did I get it from? Vapor's Corner. I actually got myself some more Maviton. So now, Maviton and Cotton Bacon Prime is on the agenda. And the only other thing which I actually got is this little, decided I just need to get one of these guys. And this is a little Coil Master. And as I said, I picked it up from Vapor's Corner. I think it's 250 or 280 bucks. And just got the Maviton. And boom, there you get free shipping. 600 rand, man. Free shipping. It's a bargain. But yeah, nice little Boldex, and I can just do my ohms and I can do my firing on the same time. So that's lekker. I miss Rough Beard, Hawaiian Breeze. Rough Beard is in Langebaan. What's the guy's name again?
I'm not sure. I forgot.
Ach, eerlikheid. Derek.
Yeah.
Derek's the guy from Rough Beard, Hawaiian Breeze. But I'm sure he'll have the recipe available. If he does not make the juice anymore, I can actually contact him and find out from him whether he's still interested in making juice or whether he's actually prepared to actually share that recipe. I'll swap him Blimey's recipe for that.
Going off topic again, I see a comment from Nico Libber saying lane splitting is legal and safer for the biker if it's done right. Lane splitting is not legal. It's also not in the South African laws, it's also not mentioned as being illegal. The law actually states that a vehicle cannot pass between 2 other vehicles or occupy the same lane as another vehicle currently in the lane. So technically it's not legal, but I agree, especially when you come to a traffic light. I always prefer to lane split at traffic lights. Because you always get that idiot who's typing on his phone and he hits you from behind. When you are lane splitting in between the lanes at a traffic light, you are much safer.
Calvin arises.
Quibba, just a question. I know it's off the topic, but when you go for your license, for motorcycle license, why do you have to go through that thin dual lane when you pass?
I've got no idea. I got my license back in 1996 for the bike, so that was before the K53 system of where you do everything at 25 kilometers per hour, which in my opinion, it's not that applicable to real life situations.
Yeah, because you have to.
I've got no idea.
Because you have to go through. Because I did mine in 2010, about 10 years ago, and you have to go through, or you have to do it. You ride 25 kilometers and you stop. Your wheel has to stop on the specific line. It has to be center, but that dual lane that they have there is about, I think, 800 wide, and you cannot cross those lines. You have to go between it, and you have to ride straight for that period. So there must be a reason for that. So is it for like what the other guy is saying in the splitting? But they always say in the K53 that you have to, one vehicle must always stand behind the other. So I don't know why they have that in the K53 anyway.
I don't agree. As I said, traffic lights are lane split because I don't want someone to come from behind and hit me.
Yeah, I would do it in any case though, with the people just going left and right without flickering these days. I actually feel sorry for a lot of the bikers that just decide to go in between the cars.
Just tell them
Ek worry. Yeah, they worry. Kijk, I always look on my...
I would rather just chill and sit behind them than to pass in between them. If you need to lane split, don't exceed 20 kilometers per hour more than the other vehicles on the road. Because when you go faster and somebody just decides to change lanes or somebody decides to open up a door, it's going to be not a fun day.
Yeah. Maar nou ja, listen, we've been busy for an hour, Quibba. See how time flies when you're having fun. No, you're having fun there on your tiki opalala. Tiki, your nom tiki. So Quibba, thank you very much for joining, but it would be nice to actually have you on again now. Because I can hear you've got a lot of sense there between those ears, and there's a lot which you can actually share with the people. So it was nice that you actually agreed to join me. It's not that Quibba is a replacement for people like Mark, TVP and those oaks though. I mean, when I discussed this tube with him, I knew that this guy is somebody that can actually talk sense for a while. And hence I invited him and he actually agreed. So thank you very much for that, Quibba. And for everyone inside the chat, I'm sorry that I actually missed so many of the chat comments there. But that's what the moderators are there for, just to highlight the comment which I think I must read though. Maar ja, ek is so ver agter. Yes, like I've got no idea where to catch up on the chat. Yeah. So I just want to thank everyone that was joining tonight though, that came in to make this a viewable situation. I do appreciate that though. And yeah, Quibba, you must enjoy your weekend, mate.
Thanks for having me, and I hope you had a great birthday on Monday.
I did. Thank you very much. I did. And this by the way, was my birthday present from my wife. This in the stacker. Nice. But she doesn't know about the stacker. I just included that in the order. So yeah, have a good night, guys, and thank you very much for joining. I do appreciate it. Cheers.
Thanks.
Goed gaan, Quibba.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Jy kon ook maar meer gesê het as jy wou hoor.